We're in Bydgoszcz, Poland at the World Under-20 Championships. Welcome to another episode of IAAF Inside Athletics. I'm your host, Ato Bolden. My guest today is the world youth record holder in the 100-meter dash and the high school U.S. record holder in the 100-meter dash, Candace Hill. So welcome, Candace, to Inside Athletics.
Hello.
So you go back to school now, and now you're not just Candace Hill, the girl who was fast. Now you are a national and international celebrity. Tell me about what it was like being back at high school, sort of being the big girl on campus.
Being back in high school, my friends, of course, they treat me the same. They're like, don't blow up on me, don't switch up, things like that. However, people who didn't really know me, they're
Right.
starting to be my friend. They say, hey, Candace, trying to say hi. I'm just like, no, you weren't my friend before, so don't try to get all good with me now. So, yeah. I would definitely say after I won those titles, my fame level kind of rose a bit. Yeah.
Now, I remember you being very emotional after your 100-meter win last year in Colombia at the World Youth Championships. Why were you so emotional when you crossed that line?
I was so emotional because previously, coming to me, I ran that 10.98. So everyone was like, she has to win because she ran 10.98. And if she loses, then that doesn't add up. All the pressure was on me. And so it was my first international competition. It's my first time running against international girls and my first time running a prelims, semifinals, and finals on the same day. So it was like, wow, all this is coming at me. And so when I crossed the line at first, I was just, it was a relief feeling. All the pressure just came off my shoulders. And I was like, wow, I'm a real world champion. And yeah.
So you did that well in the 100, and now comes the 200, which you completely dominate. Did you feel like you got the nerves out in the 100, and that's why your 200 went so well?
Yes. My goal coming in the meet was to win the 100, and then the 200, just have fun in it.
Right.
And so having fun, I was running free. I was running, just to run, basically. So no pressure was on me, and that I feel like I was determined. It was the last race of the season, so I just went out with a bang.
So after that amazing season, you had to make that transition now to not having high school competition, not having a ton of races in 2016. What did you have to sort of alter in training to sort of compensate for that? Because I look back at your competition record, and you had run a lot of races in 2015, even before you started setting the records. What did you have to adjust to get the performances right in 2016?
In 2016, basically my training, I started training on weekends to make it feel like I was running in high school like I did on weekends. So I trained Saturday and Sunday, so that was an adjustment for me. And then just getting all the races I can, running both rounds. If a meet had prelims and finals, I would do both rounds instead of just doing one or the other. So, yeah.
So 2016 is a year that saw you go to the U.S. Olympic trials and perform pretty well there. What were your expectations going into the Olympic trials, and coming out of them, what did you feel like you had accomplished?
Going into the Olympic trials, my goal was to make the team. That
Right.
was my goal, especially in the 200. And not even making it to the finals in either race, that really hurt a lot. So, yeah. It hurt a lot, but I just looked back and said, all that I've been through, coming here, running those times, it was great.
You're still only 17. Do you look at where the sport is right now, and you can see yourself at 21 being in the Olympics in Tokyo, at 25 being in the Olympics wherever they are that year? When you look out into your future, where do you see yourself?
When I look out into the future, I see myself winning a lot of world titles and also being on the Olympic team in 2020, hopefully, and performing well there. I feel like my future is bright. I feel like since I'm doing this at 17, I'm only getting stronger and faster.
Right.
So, I'm more developed. My body's being developed, so I can take on the competition when I get older.
How did you get into the sport? Who or what were the things that you could point to and say, okay, if it wasn't for this person or that event, I probably would not be world youth champion and high school record holder now?
If it wasn't for me running field day in elementary school, I wouldn't be out here running at all.
Really?
Field day, I would always win the races, and so my parents were like, okay, since she's fast, let's put her in summer track. So summer track, it was different for me because my form was horrible. I was running like this, bouncing, and I didn't know like the form and the technique that you need, and I didn't know that you needed all that technique just to run because I was just out there running. And so high school, my coach really said that you need to fix this, you need to improve your starts, you need to run with your arms in. And so that helped me lower my times. And so 10th grade year, that's when I finally put it all together and I saw those times just drop.
If I ask your parents which one of them you got your world-class athletic ability from, which one of them would say it was them?
I don't even know because none of my parents were athletes, so.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't stop them from claiming the ability.
I don't know, they both claim it in a way. My mom's like, no, she got it for me. And my dad's like, no, she got it for me. But I feel like the height-wise, my dad.
Okay, so now you're here at the World Under-20 Championships. Tell me if it feels any different to you than it did a year ago when you went into Colombia. I mean, obviously, you are a headliner here, you have a target on your back, but does it feel any different than when you were in Colombia almost exactly a year ago?
It definitely feels different. In Colombia, I was running against girls under 18. Here, I'm running against girls under 20, which is first year in college. So it's like I'm running against college competition. And also, this year, I feel like I sort of have a lot of pressure on me, but not really because I haven't been running that fast this season. So it's just like, okay, you know, this is just an ordinary race. This is like my 6th race of the season. So, you know, I'm kind of getting fresh. I'm still fresh, you know, this season.
So you're ready for the rounds?
Yes, I'm ready for the rounds. And I feel like last year is more of a go out there and have fun, whereas this one is like prove something to myself for not doing so good at trials to like end with a bang.
So I understand that you have more than one coach. How does that work? Because, I mean, it seems to me like if you have one coach, you have one philosophy. How does it work when you have multiple coaches? Has that created any issues?
Unfortunately, my high school coach is not training me anymore because there were kind of issues.
Right.
But the 2 coaches I have now, they work together and they'll have me on weekends or they'll have me during the meet. So when one coach can't do it, then the other coach can. And so I feel like they worked together and made a plan that's right for me. And they both put their time and effort and, you know, input into what should be done. So yeah, I feel like it's going good so far.
Let's go off the track a little bit now. So you're a teenage girl who is the world at her feet. When you're not training, what are you doing?
Getting my nails done. And hanging out with friends and going to the movies and going to parties, you know, just having fun. And also schoolwork and homework, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you found, though, that because you have this life, which is, I mean, you get to travel the world and you're doing photo shoots and you're an internationally recognized athlete, is it tough to then, you know, sit down and be like, you know what, homework, really? Like.
Yes and no. Yes, because it's just like, you know, why am I doing this? Like, why should I do this?
What's your motivation?
My motivation is just because when I was younger, I always wanted to make A's. I always strive to like be smartest in my class, you know. It's that competitive drive that pushes me on because I'm very competitive, so I'm competitive against my classmates in school. And I'm also competitive on the track, so that's what makes me work hard, even though I'm just like, half of the times I'm just like, oh, do I have to do this? But then I'm like, you know, if it wasn't for track, I would be doing this anyway, so.
Most sprinters, most world-class sprinters tend to be type A personality and tend to be perfectionists. Are you a perfectionist?
Definitely. I am 100% a perfectionist.
And how does that show up in your running? Are you the type that will run, you know, like an 11:0 race, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, you ran 11:0, and you're like, yeah, but it should have been 10:9. Is that something that you find yourself doing?
Yes. And then everyone's just like, all right, being a perfectionist is going to end up hurting you in the long run. But I'm just like, that's my personality. That what makes me better because I know how much better I can do. So I'm very hard on myself.
I'm looking at the U.S. trials, and I'm realizing that Tiana Bartoletta, long jumps. There are other people, Jasmine Todd, 100 long jumps. Anybody ever take you on the infield and say, Candace, long jump, triple jump, high jump, anything?
Yes, in high school, 10th grade, my high school coach wanted me to do long jump. And so I'm just like, I don't know how to do long jump. And so I'm just.
But you didn't know how to sprint either when you started. Somebody to show you.
Yeah, but like long jump, you know how you gotta have technique.
board,
yeah,
right?
hit the board. And so I just see him jumping in the sand. So I was just like, yeah, like having fun with it. My coach is like, no, you gotta do this, this, this. I'm like, no, I can't do that. I can't focus on running track and then in the field long jumping. So I just stuck to track.
I'm looking at your stats, and yes, everybody knows about the 1098 because it's you're the first U.S. high schooler to go under 11. But when you look past that to the 1108 from last year and the 1109 from last year, you realize that prior to you, nobody in American high schools had ever even broken 1110. There's somebody out there that's looking at you and you're their inspiration. The person that is going to be able to approach your records, what could you tell them about what you've learned in the past 12 months and running fast?
What I learned in the past 12 months is just to work hard, because many people say that, oh, well, the reasons why she's running is because she's tall or
Right.
she has long legs.
Because all tall people run fast.
Yeah, but like they think that there's other reasons to my success, but
Right.
they don't want to say the hard work, because they'd be like, oh, well, she was born to run. But I mean, I was born to run, but also that can only take you to a certain
course,
point.
yes.
It's like the hard work and the training that you put in, you gotta want it. You gotta like see yourself, envision yourself doing it. So I feel like that really helped me reach my goal. And just have fun with it.
Right, just have fun with it. Well, I can tell you, when you ran the 1098 last year, you motivated a lot of young ladies, including the one I coach. I think you are a major star for the future. Wish you all the best in your career and at the World Junior Championships.
Thank you.
All right.